Hi, I'm Carl Azus. It's great to have you watching CNN 10 on this Monday, November 20th. We'll have two shows this week, today and tomorrow. After that, we're off for the Thanksgiving holiday until next Monday. First story's about an international rescue effort at sea. The ARA San Juan is an Argentine submarine. It mysteriously disappeared last Wednesday as it was traveling from the southernmost tip of Argentina back to its home port in Mar del Plata, which is a couple hundred miles south of Buenos Aires. Argentina's government said that various military bases had received 7 satellite calls that likely came from the San Juan on Saturday. But yesterday, a top Navy officer said that though the calls are being analyzed, officials don't have, quote, clear evidence they came from the San Juan. The missing sub has 44 crew members aboard. Many of their relatives gathered for Mass at a Navy base yesterday to pray for the crew's safe return. The San Juan is 213 feet long. It has 1 electric and 4 diesel engines. It had traveled through an area known for intense storms. In fact, heavy winds and waves were hampering the search effort last night. The U.S. and British navies are both helping in that search. Aircraft, ships, satellite information, and a remote underwater vehicle are all involved. According to the British Broadcasting Corporation, the Argentine Navy says the San Juan has enough food, water, and oxygen to last for 2 weeks or more.
This long-term data set allows us not only to see exactly what's happening, but to be able, so much better way to predict what's going to happen.
If NASA were to track Americans' shopping habits through the seasons, it'd be expecting a whole country to light up in the days ahead. The traditional holiday shopping season used to start with Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, and continue up to Christmas. It's when retail companies launch sales and shoppers go on the hunt for gifts. Lines wrapping around stores, people racing down aisles trying to get the best deals. This was the norm and still is in some places. But with department stores and online retailers constantly changing the dates of these sales, in many cases holding them earlier than Thanksgiving, the shopping season is now a dynamic event with no fixed dates. Safe to say, though, that by Black Friday, which is this Friday, it's in full swing.
Black Friday. Sounds kind of scary. And it was. Black Friday first referred to the collapse of the U.S. gold market in 1869. A century later, Philadelphia police used Black Friday to describe chaos and congestion. Downtown streets were clogged with hordes of shoppers headed to the big department stores. Retailers hated the term, but then tried to reinvent it. It was the day their profits went from red to black. So they said. Black Friday really started catching on in the 80s and 90s, pushed by the growth of big box stores. Today, it's all about bargains, and Black Friday's dark roots are for the history books.
Kayaking the Colorado River Rapids, summiting Mount Everest, mountain biking Colorado's 100-mile Leadville Trail, skydiving solo. Adventurers take on these challenges all the time. One thing that makes an American named Eric Weihenmayer stand out is that he's done them all and without the sense of sight. He explains how he faces those challenges in today's Great Big Story.
When people say they summit for the view, I think they're missing a lot of the equation of why we do the things we do. The summit, honestly, is pretty anticlimactic. The movement is, for me, the most exciting part. My name is Eric Weimer, and I'm the first blind person to have climbed the tallest peak in every continent. When I was 4 or 5 years old, I was diagnosed with this incredibly rare disease called retinoschisis. It attacked my retinas and essentially unraveled them. When I finally went blind, it was a weird relief, like the worst thing had happened, so there's nothing else to lose. There was a recreational group taking blind kids rock climbing, and that was it for me. It was sort of the full package of adventure. All the things I thought I wouldn't have as a blind person.
You need 14 for this pitch?
Yeah, I'm counting them right now.
Okay.
When I get onto a rock face, I actually feel like I'm in my element. The things that sighted people learn to do with their eyes, I've learned to do with my hands. When I'm clipping a bolt through a carabiner, I'm feeling it, I'm making sure it's correctly clipped, and if I fall, that carabiner is gonna hold me. I can't look up the rock and see the holds and plan a big route. I can only see as far as my hands. It's breathtakingly exciting. Sometimes you hear those cars way down below you in the floor of the canyon. I love that sound of emptiness. A lot of external stuff sort of disappears and you're thinking about nothing but that next hold in front of you. So it's very, very meditative, very much kind of like an inner mind sport. I like that. I think that's the best pitch.
Could you feel that space, like the exposure down there?
Yeah, I mean, especially with these trucks flying by down there, it kind of echoes through the whole canyon and you can hear everything.
Yeah. What do you say we top out?
Yeah, let's summit. It's right up here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
As a blind climber, it's really hard and you just sort of have to embrace that suffering. Blindness is just a thing that happened to me. I think like all adversities, we got to use them as a catalyst to push you in new directions. It's the idea of turning bad things into good things, and it's something I think we all could use.
Most consecutive forward rolls, longest drum roll, largest cinnamon roll. Guinness has a slew of world records related to rolls. And here's another one. This is called a contortion roll. The person doing it is China's Lu Teng, and because she was able to roll 20 meters, about 65 feet, in just over 15 and a half seconds, she recently set the Guinness World Record for fastest time to roll that distance in a contortion roll. She was on a roll when she made that honor roll. Maybe that was a bit of a stretch, maybe even a little twisted, but don't get all bent out of shape about it. You may be rolling your eyes, but these segments just prove how flexible we are to make the linguistic contortions that shape up our puns. I'm Carl Azuz for CNN.